Welcome to Growing Pains. I'm Christabel.
And I'm Vika. This is a safe space to share the full spectrum of life. You'll hear stories and discussions about growing up through trauma, mental health, wellness, mindfulness, and the rest of the crazy things that make us human.
Come be present with us and make this time meaningful. We do our best to be transparent, we get deep, and we love to keep it light too. That's the paradox of life, the reality of growing pains.
This is a trigger warning.
Be sure to check the description first to make sure you're in a healthy space to listen. Enjoy. Welcome back to Growing Pains.
Hello, everyone.
It's about time.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it has been. It feels good.
Excited.
Yeah. Should we do our check-in?
Yeah,
cool.
Let's do it.
So, I'm definitely inside my window of tolerance. I'm feeling just, like, excited, I guess. Like, I feel anticipation, like, very much excitement for progress. And, yeah, one thing contributing to my emotional state is I joined a choir. So that's one thing that's made me feel really excited lately and just more hopeful in a way. Just doing something that brings me joy. It makes my life, like, brighter. So that's something. And a goal of mine is to be consistent with that and go weekly. So I'm excited.
Awesome.
What about you?
I am in my window of tolerance. I'm feeling a little sleepy today. I know also there's like an eclipse tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so currently I think Mercury's going in retrograde.
Something's happening.
But no, but I'm feeling good overall. I feel like I got a lot of reassurance these past few weeks. Yeah, I'm just feeling good. I'm ready to get back into a routine with this.
Yeah.
Ready to have fall weather.
Our favorite season.
So we can take walks outside. We can go explore the city, check it out, because it's just been too hot.
Yeah, we already started doing that more a little
bit.
It's a little bit cooler.
Yeah,
And it's
so that's exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. I would say a goal of mine is to just really get into a better routine. I need to just really hold myself accountable during the day and, like, just get into a better routine for myself.
Routine is a good intention.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's, like, part of the reason I'm excited for choir.
Yeah, I'm usually so good at routines, but, like, what you also, I mean, hopefully I'll get busier these next coming few weeks with work, but, like, when you work from home, it's hard to change it up.
Yeah.
So I need to, like, start working out. I want to start moving my body.
Yeah.
So things like that.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Especially when you get a dog. You'll get more active, too.
Yeah, I'm
go
looking
out more.
for a dog, so.
Another good goal that we're all very excited for.
Yeah.
I think P's going to love it. So.
Yeah, I've always just, like, dreamed of having my own dog. Just because I mean, I grew up with dogs, but they were always, like, family dogs. Right. And they always like the other people more.
Yeah.
But, like, they just bring you so much joy. Animals are the best.
They are.
So
I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun.
More love.
Yeah.
That's a good goal. I feel like that's one of the reasons I'm excited for choir too, is because it's like a thing that happens all the time. Yeah. And so I just always have a place to go. Like, it gives you forward momentum when you have, like, a plan in that way. And I'm also gonna force myself, so, like, when you go, I'm gonna force myself to do a workout. Yeah, that's like amazing. Downstairs or something out of my room, and that way I'm moving my body. I'm doing something good for my mental health. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. It's a new season. It's a new chapter. Yeah. It's a fresh start. I like this painting. See different seasons. That's what I thought I was gonna get paint in my hair before. I was like, oh no. No, it's pretty dry.
Yeah.
It's not completed totally. I'm still gonna work on it, but look how cute it looks.
Yeah.
In the clouds.
Yep.
I love it. It's so pretty. It represents growing pains and just the process of growth, and it's like, you know, the fresh green, but it also, you have to be in the whole process.
Yeah.
To experience it all. And the cute sky is different.
Yeah,
too.
it's really about trusting the process.
Yep. That's the only way to grow.
And that's why
it's not always gonna make sense, but it's gonna work.
That's why it's like perfect with our topic.
Yeah, so today we're gonna talk about divine timing, which obviously we restarted Growing Pains season 2 this summer, and we did it right when we moved, and it was just not the right timing, and we talked about it, and we agreed that we wanted to be in a different space to be able to present this. And so we decided to take a break, and we plan to restart today, and here we are. And it feels good because, like you said, it's going to help us get into routine again. And if you do certain things at the wrong time, and you force them, it's just not going to work.
Yeah,
it's not going to pan out.
It's going to feel weird.
And it's not going to feel like healthy.
Right.
So we realized that we just needed more time to ground. We obviously have been through like the craziest year ever. And so it's like it's such an understatement, but yeah, that's like the easiest way to put it. And so I think it was just like a realization that even though we're doing great, and even though we're growing, and
we also can't force it.
We can't, and if we do, we're gonna burn out.
100%.
We're gonna get triggered. Something's gonna go wrong. Like, it's just gonna re-traumatize you if you just like try to push and push and push and always do the most and always be like, well, I'm fine, so I'm gonna do this. I'm fine. You're not always fine. Like, you still, no matter how much you heal, you need rest, you need pause, you need time,
especially when you start over and like you're starting a new job, you're living in a new place. Like, both of us did that. So like, we're just getting back into the routine of, we have to work because we took a lot of time off to work on ourselves.
Right.
So it's like we're just adjusting.
Right.
It's like all about adjusting for us right now. So I think that's why it was a really good realization.
Yeah.
To really just take a pause and be like, we should probably just not do this right now.
Yeah.
Because it's summer, we just moved, we need to really just focus on ourselves and how we're adjusting to our environment and everything. Really take it easy.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
When you just said adjusting, it just like clicked for me. I was like, exactly. That's exactly what it is. And like, I always talk about evolution, you know, and the way that you evolve is you adapt.
Yeah.
And so like, that's really what it is. We're just open to adapting, and sometimes adapting means changing your plan and trusting that you know, like deep down, and you feel what's right, and trusting that. You know.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just more open to change now that like I've experienced so much change in my life that it's such a comfortable idea now. So anytime I can change or we can change together and ideas and stuff, like we'll always do that, which is a really great thing because we just kind of mold to what's going on in present time and like what we're doing that day, and like we don't rush things and like planning things is just like
it's just that it's a plan. It's not like
we'll
reality.
know exactly when we'll feel like doing it, and usually we're on the same page.
Yeah, and it worked out that way.
Yeah.
And then it's easy a lot of times, especially with maybe where our old mindsets were, to be attached to a certain idea of like what something has to be, and it has to be perfect, or it has to look a certain way, right? Because we told people we were going to do season 2, and then we just took a break because we needed it. And like a lot of times you can be preoccupied with how it looks, that image, and then just force yourself to do something that's not right. But really it's about trusting yourself, and that radical acceptance is something that we love to continue to practice 100%. Because
it's important.
It's so freeing.
Because like if I never learned radical acceptance, I feel like I would be this like ball of just anger and hatred. Ball of anger. Oh, I don't know why I just repeated myself as if like
no, emphasize that.
But literally, I'd be so angry and I'd be just like, oh, I hate you. I hate that person. And I'd see the worst in people because of specific traits from people in my past that I would probably judge them. And it's just my mindset. My mindset would be shit.
Yeah. And when you're like that to other people, you also become like that to yourself, you know? And
exactly.
And I remember actually one moment that really taught me this. I was in the New York City subway, and there was someone on the subway just dancing with their headphones on. Like, not like to impress anybody, like literally just enjoying themselves, dancing, going crazy. And for a couple seconds, I was like, oh my God, what are they doing? They're making me so uncomfortable. Like,
oh my God.
What, like just go home and dance. I don't know. And then for a second, I was just like, what if I wanted to dance? Like, what if I was listening to my favorite song, like, and I'm just like tapping my foot and like, but I want to like shimmy, you know? And I was like, you know what? That is why I don't do that, because I'm scared of people like me right now judging him. And it became like this meta thing where you're just like, whoa, like I'm what I'm scared of.
And I feel like you have to kind of like say it in a way, if like you catch yourself doing that, you just kind of be like, holy crap.
Yeah, because
like,
if you can't judge yourself again.
I wish I had that confidence. Like, I can literally tell myself, like, I don't have the confidence to do that. So kudos to them, because that's just like, that's bold. But hey.
Yeah, and I changed in that moment, and now I'm literally that girl who I'm the one dancing in the street, and probably if I took the subway, I'd be dancing there too.
Right.
And so
the battery's at 3%.
Yeah, I know. I have another battery. So that's why I'm just grateful that I recognized in myself when I was judging someone, and that's always like a simple memory that I remember to remind myself.
Right.
Because like you said, it's not that you're gonna be perfect and you're never gonna like see the worst in someone, or you're never going to judge someone, but it's just reminding yourself that that's not everything. That's just like a thought, and what you believe is something different, and who you are is something 100%. Different than that. Yeah. So it's really great that we're able to just detach from any potential judgment, because we don't judge ourselves.
Right.
You know, and so it doesn't matter how anybody else sees it, because we know our intentions and our beliefs.
Yep.
And it was just what was right for us. And that's why we want to talk about divine timing today, because you can't control like when things happen. Obviously, we all know this, but we sometimes try a little too hard too. And so I think it's a really good reminder of radical acceptance, which is really the skill that we're practicing when we talk about this.
Right.
Yeah. We were talking about radical acceptance with your friend yesterday.
Yeah, we were.
It's and we had a really big moment of radical acceptance at dinner.
Yeah, honestly, that was my like last hurrah moment. Is that what it's called?
I don't know. It was an enlightenment.
No. Well, yeah. I don't. What?
Enlightenment. Yeah. Like when something's illuminated. It was just like very enlightening.
A lot of closure, and I was like, wow, this is why I practice radical acceptance, because if I didn't, I'd sabotage. But like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I have the ick, and I'm gonna move on with my life.
Yeah.
Because that's all I can do. Can't control it.
Yeah. So radical acceptance is very useful when things can be really surprising, or if you want to change something, or you just want to control something, like I said earlier, but you just can't control everything. You have to just let it go.
Oh, shit. Scared me.
Yeah, this isn't actually secured right now, so it's...
At one point, it might fall on my head.
It may or may not, but trust the process.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we were talking about divine timing, and I feel like there's so many examples that we could share. So something that comes to mind for me is like going to get treatment, and I've been in therapy since I'm a kid, on and off, and no matter... Oh, that light turned off, but it's fine.
Oh, I thought the power went out, but
Me
I was
too,
like, wait.
Something sounded different.
Yeah.
But no, it's fine. So, yeah, the time that I went to treatment, I feel like there was just no way that it would have, like, I couldn't have timed it better myself, you know, and that's like why I knew it was divine timing. I never would have, you could have asked me like the day before I chose to go if I would ever even do that, and I would have been like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
but right when I needed to go, I did, and I just knew it, and it was like the universe telling me, yeah, that I just need to do this for myself. And I couldn't have created that perfect moment, you know, if I would have forced it earlier or just tried to do different things to, which I did. I did try to do like a lot of things to feel better, obviously. And I feel like a lot of them were forced. And like I would work a lot on my business, or I would invest in a lot of business coaches and just spend money on things that I wanted to do well in my life, as opposed to investing in being well myself. And when I finally was able to just hit that point where it just made sense, it's almost like I didn't even have to make the choice, because it was just the only option for me. I'm so grateful, and that's like a really strong example for me of divine timing, because I just, like I said, I couldn't have timed it better myself.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my life the past year, honestly, is like all divine timing. Everything happened for a reason. Yeah. And I truly believe that now. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you couldn't have predicted it. You couldn't have written it yourself. You couldn't have planned it.
And it's like the best thing ever to like remind yourself is like you do not have to be in contact with family, friends, whatever, just because they are the person who they are. Like family, whatever
label they have, right?
It doesn't mean anything. That it's okay. Like people have to remind themselves, because it's like some people are like, oh my god, what? And then it's not a big deal.
Yeah. What's a big deal is how people make you feel.
Exactly.
That's the big deal.
Exactly.
And I agree with that. That's another thing, that going no contact when I did, it was just the right time, and I couldn't have chosen that time. It's just what happened. I didn't even decide ever. It just kind of happened for me. And this person stopped reaching out to me too, and I was just like, it's just the universe did it for me, you know. It was like I didn't even, it was like a wake up call. That's what divine timing is. It's like it's just things falling into place, because it's just the way it's meant to be. Yeah. And there's this divine part of it. It's basically just this higher vibration thing. It's just this, whatever you believe in, right? Like whatever you believe in as a higher power, I guess you would say. That is what really propels divine timing. That's what chooses divine timing. It's just a combination of so many things that you could never make that perfect moment, right? You know. And there have been so many of those in my life. Even like meeting you, I remember meeting you, and I was like, oh, she's cool. And I was like so happy that I just met someone that I thought was cool. And then we never rushed it. We never pushed it. It was so organic, and it was so divine timing. Right. Every single part of it. It was like weird coincidences, how it aligned with timing, and like when we met in our lives. And we grew up like 30 minutes away from each other.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. We went to the same malls sometimes. Like there was just a swamp between us.
The good old great swamp.
Yeah. So I think it's just that's a perfect example as well. And that coincides with my treatment. And that's why I know, you know, even to the point where this is a perfect example of divine timing. Like the people that we were with in treatment, you never get to choose who you do these things with. It's all up to timing. Right. It's literally, I always thought about that. Like I got there one day, and that was someone's last day. Right. And so I just got to see their last day, and I was like very low. I was still not doing well. Yeah. And I was like, how is she even happy? Like I was like, what is this thing? and that was such a divine timing moment, because I needed to see that at the beginning of mine. Even if I didn't feel it at that moment, I needed to see that, because when I did see it on my last day, when I had to say goodbye to everyone, I remembered that moment, and I knew what I wanted to say and share with everyone before I left, because it's life changing. Yeah. You know, and you cannot control who does what when, and who walks into a building when, who sits next to you when they come in. And those are just the divine moments, you know, that I believe in.
Yeah. I mean, Sadie and I talked about it the other day. And like we were just meant to meet, and like we could literally go years and years without talking.
Mm-hmm.
We could meet up and nothing has changed. And
Yeah.
it's like there's a reason that I'm still friends with people like that.
Yeah.
And like there's a reason you meet people like
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes, and it's just it is really crazy, and it's just all about really just having no control and
Right. And
really
surrendering to all that.
surrendering. Yes,
Yeah.
big time. Because if you just like want to control everything and want everything to be like to a T how you want it, then you're gonna be really preoccupied with making yourself probably more miserable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And you're going to be disappointed because
yeah.
it's never going to work.
No.
Obviously.
So you just surrender, you go with the flow, you let it happen, and you'll see some great things happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how you have the energy to actually experience
Right.
like what's in front of you.
Right.
It's called a reality check, we say. A
A
lot of people need one because they're stuck in
A
their
lot
plan,
of
and it's
people
like,
need
hello, do you remember? Like, if I always
Yeah.
love this reminder, like, if you're just planning all the time, you're never planning for anything.
No.
You're just like always ahead of yourself, and you're
Right.
never actually present.
Right.
And that's like a lot of people. They're planning and plotting and
Right.
figuring all this.
You're
They're
never
always
actually
like,
enjoying your life. Like you're just trying to fill your life with things that think are gonna make you happy, and
Mm-hmm.
you can like tell people that you did this and
Right.
that and hung out with certain people. But like that's not what life's about. Like we were talking about the other day, it's quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Like the quality time you spend with people and just in your environment, outside, being present, like it truly changes your mindset, and it changes who you attract, what you attract.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you practice what you preach and you are positive and you talk nice to yourself and others, like good things will happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But if like you're just gonna do the opposite and just gonna talk behind people's back and say rude things and judge people and everything, then you're just really insecure in yourself, where you just can't see past through that, so you have to project onto other people.
Yeah.
And that's what
That's
a
what
lot
it
of
is,
this world
projection,
is. And unfortunately, like everyone's different. You guys are all not the same. Like everyone has their own personality.
Mm-hmm.
So learn your own personalities and be that person.
Yeah.
Stop stealing each other's like personalities. It's really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's called codependency. Trying to
Yeah.
be other people and trying to make them a part of you.
100%.
Yeah. You just got to let go of wanting to control
Yeah.
everything. That's really what I keep thinking about. And kind of on that note, you said, it reminded me of something we were talking about last night, which is confirmation bias, which is basically, it's a psychological term, and it refers to the fact that your brain will look for information that confirms what you believe already,
Mm-hmm.
so that you don't have to change what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times that's what it becomes, and people start to believe all of the negative things
Mm-hmm.
because they're always concerned with what's the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're always on the defense,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just in that survival mode.
Yeah.
Then all you're going to see is the threats. Of
Yeah.
course, if you're in survival mode, your body is going to remind you of every little threat because it thinks
Mhm.
it's in danger.
Yeah.
It's obvious, it's logic.
Yep.
But if you start to see the good in people, if you start to see the positive, and it's not to be unrealistic, like still be on alert, be aware, don't be stupid either, and just, you know, don't be kind of just like reckless, you know, still be cautious with certain things, but letting that control every part of who you are and what you do, it just ends up being like a huge disservice.
100%.
Yeah, because then you can't accept life for what it actually is, and you're living in a delusion is what it becomes.
Yeah. And all those people around you that are friends with you, whatever, like you just feed them delusions as
Right.
well. So
Well, you're
that's why,
giving them a produced version of
so
yourself.
that's
It's
why
not real.
people believe certain people over other people, and it's just delusional.
Yeah. Well, some people can put on a good show.
Mm.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who don't practice radical acceptance but pretend that they do. That's like a really good
Yeah.
thing to think about too, you know, because just because someone says they're fine with something or they play the victim or
Mhm.
whatever, there's just there's just going to be like the reality.
100%.
Like there's always going to be the reality, and they start to just live in this fake world when they don't actually practice radical acceptance. They can say it as much as they want, but if you say something and do something else, then you're not really adding up.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my new
Practice what you preach. In my day and age, we practice what we preach. Oh my, this shit is at 3% again. How is this happening?
2%.
Divine timing.
Literally.
Yeah, we can't control it. Both my batteries just died, so hopefully we might have to take a break. Yeah. Look how pretty the painting looks, though. Yeah. Just a moment for that. So cute. What else should we talk about? For 2%.
I don't know.
Do you have a story about divine timing?
Not really. Not up until like recently. I would say things started really aligning for me in my life and where I was supposed to be, who I was supposed to be around, who was supposed to be in my life. But I would say really.
That makes a lot of sense what you're saying right now, that your divine timing started when you started actually being present and doing the work and healing. Yeah,
I was never able to.
Because you can block your blessings and you can block your divine timing when you force things, when you whatever, because you were like still trying in a situation that wasn't working.
Right.
And the divine timing was never going to happen in that situation.
Right.
It's not possible.
No.
You know, that's so interesting. You can block your blessings.
So really, it's just very new to me, and I'm finally seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my life was more controlled.
Yeah.
So I never really knew anything past survival mode.
Right. Wow.
And I was like, I don't believe everything happens for a reason, because like
that would be awful.
Right. Like, why do I keep getting yelled at? Like, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, it really shows to me how negative I was, like, my environment was. So I took in that negativity. So there was no like divine timing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Because it was really just waiting for the moment for that person to be like, okay, you can move out.
Right.
And
that was divine timing.
Boom. I was like, oh.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Process really opened my eyes, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
This is really happening, and it's for real, and it's meant to be.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm hungry.
Oh, shoot. We're going to make pizza tonight.
Dude.
I love that. Also, I think it's cool to think about the small instances of divine timing, too.
Yeah.
Like, because I know it's, like, human nature to think about the big ones. Sometimes I just like to appreciate the little moments of, like, even, like, when I get to work on time or something, I'm like, oh, look, like, or when I find a parking spot. Like, that's divine timing to me every day that I find a spot.
Yeah, I've had that happen a few times.
I find one
like,
all the time.
I'm just lucky.
And I think it's just because I know I will, and it's just divine timing. And
I mean, I take divine timing very serious when I drive, and like maps redirects me or something, like, or there's traffic or something.
It protects you.
I take it as a sign that it's protection.
Yeah, you just weren't meant to go that way.
Right.
Like, why are you getting frustrated?
Right.
You're not there. No matter how frustrated you get, you're not going to be over there.
Just rushing like that to get home. Like, be careful. Like, take care of yourself, please.
Be careful, please.
Please.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. I think it's good to even like whenever I go into a restaurant and order food and then the line gets long. Yeah. That's the most divine timing ever. Yeah. And that always happens to us.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, where did that just happen to us?
I don't know. I feel like it happened at Brewertown Bakery once. And then it happened somewhere else. Oh, when you got coffee in New York.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and it was a long line.
Everyone came in.
I know. It was so good. And we were about to leave the city, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
It was just, and it was like, you can't plan that. You literally, it didn't matter if I was in the apartment saying like, oh, we need to go now because there's no line. I don't know.
Right.
You can't control all of those things, but you can definitely enjoy them when they happen.
Yeah. that.
Yeah. On that note of divine timing, I feel like it's cool to also think about what could happen.
Yeah.
And that's like the line between planning and controlling. And I always try to call things kind of like a blueprint, because it's never going to look what it's going to look like, The blueprint is just the brainstorm. It's like the first version, whatever. And I feel like everything is just drafts, just like an architect. Every time they do something, they do it in drafts, just like an artist. And when you're creating your life, it doesn't mean what we're saying doesn't mean throw caution to the wind and just don't think about anything. Let anything happen and just whatever.
Yeah, go with the flow doesn't mean literally like just don't do anything. But it's just
no, it's just embracing what it is and surrendering to what is, while also like using your free will and doing what you want.
Yeah, and you'll know what's important, like for you to really focus on.
Yeah, yeah.
I just made out with the mic.
Yeah. So yeah, I think on that note, it's like very healthy to plan things.
Yeah.
And it's healthy to envision things, and that's how you manifest and attract things into your life too.
Definitely.
So yeah, when we decided to change the timing of this podcast season, we envisioned what we wanted it to look like. We decided we wanted to put a piece of art up here, and we're going to have additions to both sides at some point. And even though we weren't ready to do that specific thing, continue with the season at that point, it didn't mean that we were just like, oh, whatever, we'll see what happens. We were still committed and still consistent and still in the mindset that we were going to invest in this and continue. Yeah, 100%. And so
it's something fun for us to do also.
Of course.
So
yeah, and we want it to be like a safe space and just continue to share the things that help us. And I thought of your story for divine timing.
What?
Well, it's kind of a story with both of us, but for your birthday gift. It didn't come on her birthday.
Oh, yeah, it didn't come on my birthday, but it came Friday.
Yeah. Your birthday was Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday. This is like Vika's birthday episode.
Yeah, new season.
Divine
new
timing.
Age.
Yeah, we had to wait till she was 27, you guys. It was just meant to be.
Yeah.
Now she's grown.
I'm a whole ass adult.
She's in her late 20s, period. So, yeah, she made it, and she's starting such a new chapter, and she knows so much, and she's had so much closure, and that's all divine timing that we are here today, being the people that we are.
Yeah.
And on that note, on her birthday, we celebrated, and we ate sushi. Vika wanted sushi, and it was so good.
So good.
And then I microwaved her a chocolate lava cake. Ooh. And it was so good. And then I ate one the next day because I was too full from sushi. And I was a little bummed that the gift that I got her, because I didn't think about it till later, that it was going to take several days to come. So once I ordered it, I just let her know, like, yeah, it's not going to be here on your birthday, but it just means we get to celebrate your birthday all week. And on that note, we kind of did. Like, every day was like, it's coming soon. And like, when it did come, I yelled at her not to peek at it or not to try to like guess what it was from the box. She's like, I grabbed it, I put it down, and I ran. And it was just so fun. And I feel like we actually embraced that divine timing instead of being like
just
sad
patience too. And it's like, what's the rush? Patience. Like, you're gonna get it, and it's gonna be a fun surprise, and that's all it's about.
It was so fun. I always say patience is presence. I love that you said patience. 100%. Yeah, and that's exactly what you have to be, is patient for divine timing. You don't choose it. That's the whole point. Wow. You have to let go. And I got her this beautiful journal by Alexis and Maddie, I think it is her name. Her friend's name is Maddie, I think. Sure. And if not, I'm sorry that I said the name wrong. I don't remember. But it's called the Warrior Journal. And I bought one for myself so we can do it together and we can do it separate and we can just bond and heal over it. And I'm so excited. It has the coolest prompts ever. It's by the brand Intelligent Change, I think it's called. Yeah. They make the 5-minute journal, I think. Oh, it's really famous. And so, yeah, it's a really cool company. That's awesome. And, yeah, I'm excited for that. And it was just all in divine timing.
Yeah.
And that was a perfect example, because you can actually make something that is beyond your control work for you and make it exciting for you. Like I feel like it built more anticipation almost, because it was like, your gift's gonna come.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a good example too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, we can share some prompts probably in an episode or something when we do some cool ones, because they're really iconic. Very excited to do it. Love that. So yeah, with planning, we will be exploring different topics. We want to talk about relationships. That's one thing that we want to talk about more. Friendships, relationships. Health is a big one. That's a good divine timing story for you. Kind of what happened with your health, because honestly, we wouldn't have been able to do the podcast consistently throughout all of that time, because you were not feeling well, and it's good we took that break.
Yeah, I went to the hospital 3 different times within like 2 weeks. The first time was just throwing up nonstop, couldn't hold anything down, literally was like sweating. I was showering every 5 minutes.
It's the only thing that
would literally only thing that would not, it was like the not pulsating nausea feeling that was coming. It was like it was bad. I've never experienced nausea like that.
Oh my God.
And so I asked Christabel to drive me to urgent care. Urgent care just was like, no, we're not seeing you. So she dropped me off at the ER. I went in. It was mayhem. It was like 6:30 when we arrived. They got me in an IV. They got me some nausea medication that was not working.
No.
I was throwing up in the ER bathroom, which
it was so bad.
I highly,
and in this little bag,
literally, I highly do not recommend, because
that was great.
It smelled horrible. Thank God I was just like instantly throwing up from just sickness that I just did not care. I just so I kept walking with my like IV bag to the bathroom.
And we were there. I left at 12:30.
Yeah, I had to stay overnight. Got tests done, CT scan, more IV. I didn't really stop feeling nauseous until like 10 in the morning. Then I ate, threw up again, and then they were like, okay, you can go home. So I was like, okay, cool. Still didn't feel good when I got home, because I was still throwing up a few times. And then I would say the next day I started feeling better.
Yeah.
And then the following week,
but the whole time she had a sore throat, and
so that Monday I started getting a sore throat, and I woke up like and was just, I had to sleep all day Monday, because I was just like going through like the chills, body aches, just pounding headache. And then my throat was hurting, but I didn't really think anything of it because I've gotten colds before. And it just got worse. Well, I guess no, it got fine. And then all of a sudden my throat started getting swollen on one side, my tonsil. And Saturday I decided, I was like, you know what, I need to go to urgent care. So I went there, and
this is the second time.
Yeah, this is the second time. This was like the following week.
Yeah.
And I got to the urgent care, and they were like, you have a paratonsillar abscess. Your throat is going to close up, so you need to go to the ER right now.
Your throat's
going to close up. She was also taking pictures on her iPhone of my throat, because I feel like she maybe hasn't seen something like this before, and she
wanted to show her friends.
It was like so bad. So drove myself to the ER, parked, walk in. Thank God it's not that busy. I couldn't even speak. It basically sounded
this time she did it on her own, which is like something really to be proud of.
Yeah.
Going to the ER by yourself.
Yeah. I honestly was like, the first time went well, so they'll take care of me.
Yeah.
And I sound like I had marbles in my mouth.
It was bad.
Could not speak. Couldn't even swallow. My ear hurt. My
lymph nodes.
Yeah, that was swollen. And so I got another IV, because apparently I looked like I needed one.
She was the most hydrated girl in Philly after
this. And the guy was like sticking needles in my arms, and like couldn't find veins.
She passed out.
And I passed out because I was so nauseous, and like it was early in the morning. I didn't eat too.
Because your throat.
Yeah. And then they finally got me into a room in the back. I did a CT scan. They literally came in the room and showed me, and they were like, yeah, you can obviously see, like, this abscess is huge, and, like, your throat is, like, misaligned. So we're going to have to do, like, a drainage. So an ENT came in. Mind you, like, I got there at, like, maybe 12. I got out at 7:30. So this was, like, a long trip. And she comes in finally. She starts, like, numbing up the area. We're doing, like, a lot of flushing and whatever. Then she, like, starts doing it and drains it. And then finally I had to sit there and I, like, just had to see if I, like, can drink, I think. Right?
Probably.
Yeah, and then they gave me, like, steroids and antibiotics there. And then they were like, okay, well, this is good now. Like, you have a little incision in the back. You just have to eat, like, soft foods and, like, liquids. Pick up your antibiotics. You have to take this, blah, 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 whatever. It was caused by strep throat. And, yeah, I just had an abscess that got drained. So, the next morning, I'm like, I need to get my steroids and antibiotics. So I look up the pharmacy and it's closed because, mind you, it's Labor Day weekend.
And it's Sunday now.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to do. So I go to, like, a Walgreens, and then I try to, like, put in a prescription. That didn't work. I had to go back to the ER, and they had to recheck me in as a patient just to write me a prescription. And I was there for maybe, like, 30 minutes, maybe? It was a while.
I feel like it was an hour.
But it happened to a few other people, too. So, like, I took my steroids, antibiotics. I would say I told her today is, like, the first day where my throat is, like, actually really feeling better. Like, I can still feel where the incision is just because that's still going to have to, like, take a while to heal the skin. But, like, it doesn't hurt or anything. And it was just, like, a wild ride. And it was just a wake-up call to really listen to my body and take care of my body, hydrate myself, because I didn't realize I was literally drier than the Sahara Desert.
Period.
Yeah.
She looked, you guys.
I looked ill.
She looked ill, like, not even in a mean way. Like,
no.
I was like,
help her. It was bad. Yeah.
It was bad.
I couldn't even, like, function. I was holding,
you didn't look like yourself.
I was holding on to, the first time I went, I was holding on to her. Poor thing. I was probably, like, sweating all over her because I was, like,
drenched.
sweating through all my clothes. I was, like, trying to sleep in the chair. It smelled like actual poop in the ER room. And
it did, actually. I forgot about that.
There was a trauma right before I was supposed to get a CT scan, so I didn't get a CT scan until, like, 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah. And that was divine timing.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's kind of what I brought it up in the first place, is, like, the reason that we took a pause was that we knew deep down that we just weren't ready to be consistent with this, and that's a great reason why.
Yeah.
And right before that, you went out of town for work, and then you went to an event, and then a couple of days after all this happened, you found something in your foot.
Oh, yeah. I found glass in my foot. It finally came out.
I told her, like, weeks ago. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you stepped on glass.
So when I tell you, my body's been through it, and I think honestly it was a wake-up call to, like, really just just sit down, like, chill out. I don't know what you're doing, but, and it's hard because it was summer, and, like, I just started my job and everything, and there's a lot of things that need to be done. I reconnected with someone, so a lot of, like, socializing and stuff. But yeah, I did need to slow down, and I'm glad I got that wake-up call.
Yeah, and you learn so much through it. Like, even if there's nothing else that was good out of it, even though which there is, because you have so many reminders and lessons, at the very least you are learning how to take care of yourself in that situation. Like, you had never been to the ER before, and then within a week you take yourself. Like, that's really cool. That's a big deal, you know, like, at the very least. And that's kind of what divine timing is. It's surrendering even in the shittiest moment and being like, what's the point of this?
Right.
You know, because you get to decide what's the meaning behind the things that happen to you. And you get to decide whether certain things are blessings or curses, you know? And that was just such a blessing. I feel like you learned
really
so much.
It literally just reminded me to slow down.
Yeah. And it bonded us too.
Right. And it's like, you don't need to rush into anything.
Yeah.
Like,
and you asked for help. Like, it was just good.
Let things happen and things will fall into place.
Yeah. And you trusted that you had to go to the hospital in the first place.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know. Only you knew.
I listened to my body,
you were right. Both times you were right.
I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
Because I knew I never have felt like that. And it was just like a sign, like, okay, like, go to the people who do this for a living.
Right.
And I really trusted. I mean,
and you didn't get paranoid or like overreact either.
No.
Which was cool.
Yeah, and I feel like,
even though it was scary.
Right. Yeah, and I think I just wanted more of like the help. I mean, I was really annoying the first time because I kept going up to the nurses and asking them if
they were being really annoying.
Take my IV out and I can go home because I don't want to sit here. And they were like, no, you cannot go home. Like, you can. I'm like, please. And I'm like, can I have some ice chips? Like, anything? Because, like, the second time I went, I couldn't even eat. The first time I went, I couldn't even eat, too. I forgot you didn't eat. Jello, lemon ice, and, like, grits for breakfast.
Yeah, and you didn't eat since the day before. Since we got there.
Yeah.
Before we got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hadn't eaten in forever.
Yeah.
But that's why the IV sustains you. That's all you had.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I think that was a perfect example of divine timing and just surrendering and trusting the process.
Yeah.
Trusting yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, we made it through.
We did.
Yeah, I woke up that next week and she was like, I'm back at the ER.
Yeah.
Because I slept in like a lot, and then I woke up and I was like, what? Wait, what? And I was just like, go you did it. And then you went back to get your meds. Like, you just, like, that's what the whole point of all of this is, that now you know exactly you took care of yourself, and it's like something to be proud of.
It's like I have to still remind myself, like, things need to get done, especially with myself and my health. And like, yeah, I could have put off the antibiotics and steroids until like that following Tuesday when things would have opened up, but that's like, why would I do that when I could figure out another solution? And like, I'm always for figuring out another solution before calling it quits.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that was a perfect balance of not controlling everything, but also doing everything that you can do.
Right. I did the best I could.
Benefit yourself. Exactly.
And I couldn't do enough, so that's why there's nurses and doctors that do that stuff that can really help you. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people get very anxious when it comes to like hospitals and everything, but like it was like, that was such a safe moment, especially like how nice the nurses were and everything. Yes, it did take a while, but like no matter what, I still felt like I was getting taken care of.
Yeah, like nothing was gonna happen to you.
I had an IV, I had nausea medication. They weren't just like letting me sit there with nothing. So yeah, it's just just trusting the people.
And you made it through.
Yeah.
And this is now when you're feeling better. It's funny, she literally woke up today and said, my throat actually feels better for real today. And I was like, perfect. And it's like, we're starting this again, and that's for a reason. Yeah. That's divine timing. True. Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
Cute. Should we keep it short and sweet?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds good. Episode. Yeah, first episode back again.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Bye. Trust the divine timing in your life. Start to notice it and embrace it and celebrate it.
Period.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Growing Pains, for getting to the end with an open mind and heart. Let us know what spoke to you the most.
We appreciate your time and energy, and we hope you'll reach out and connect with us. Subscribe and comment. We cannot wait to see you guys next time.